Good morning. So I asked on my Instagram story the other day, what is the biggest struggle in your leadership role right now? I got some incredible answers and I'm going to go through a few of them and answer some. So firstly, this one stuck out to me because I don't get asked this question often, but it's really important. So someone said their biggest struggle was platforming their stars and doesn't know where to start. So essentially, in leadership, we talk a lot about difficult performers, people who aren't a good person in the team, who are disengaged, but we don't often talk about those who are incredible. And we usually put so much of our energy and effort into the non-performers and trying to get them better that we do forget about the stars because they're so easy. They're just easy. They're getting on with their work. So let's talk about some small things that we can do and some big things to make sure that those people get recognized, get the recognition that they deserve, and stay with us and continue to grow with us and continue to be an amazing part of our team. So if we're talking about big things, these are sort of the easier things that are just more visible. Obviously, review their pay as often as you can. That is the single most important factor when it comes to keeping these people in the team. And if you're in a business where the pay structures are really rigid and maybe you only have like a yearly like pay review, see if you can go out of your way for those people. So maybe speak to HR or speak to your seniors and just be like, look, we've got a star in the team. They are outperforming everyone. They are a huge asset to this business. Is there a way we can go out of the normal process? Because there always is, by the way, always. Go out of the normal process to give them a small pay rise or give them a bonus to ensure that they stay with us, because it's going to cost the business ultimately a lot more if they leave. So that's a great thing you can do. And not only is that great for your star, but it's also great for you as a leader because people are in HR, in the seniors that you're asking to get these pay rises, will notice that. So they will notice that you are picking up on incredible performance and like shining a spotlight on those people. And so that'll just be like a good knock in their eyes as well. If we talk about the smaller things, so one of my favorite things to do, and this might seem simple, but it's like when you're in a public meeting setting where that person isn't there. So let's say your star performer is called Sarah and you are in a meeting with your seniors, maybe you're reporting on numbers, projects, just, I don't know, in some sort of discussion meeting. How can you find opportunities to mention their name in the rooms that they're not in? So how can you find a way to, if a project's gone really well, Sarah in my team, she was a huge part to play in that. I just want to make sure everyone knows she's an absolute star. She did X, Y, and Z. The whole team did pull together, but she was a real standout. So just finding those moments, again, to shine a spotlight on that person. Another one that you can do for them, another great thing we can do is quite often when we have high performers, we give them more to do because they're a known entity, they're easier to delegate to, we know they're going to do it well, we have confidence in them. And so we tend to be like, oh, Sarah will do that. We'll delegate that to Sarah because I know she'll do it well. And so just be very aware of the fact that what you don't want to end up with is a team. So you've got 3 people in the team. The star performer ends up with twice as much on their plate because they're so good at what they do and they're an overachiever, versus the person who isn't great. You don't give them as much because you know they can't complete it and you kind of just allow that to perpetuate. Nothing will lose you a great employee. Nothing will lose you a great employee faster than them watching you tolerate a bad one. And if you start to really unevenly distribute the workload, you essentially are showing that great performer that yes, they're great, but you actually don't respect them and you're going to tolerate this person over here not taking on a lot of the work and you're going to give them the workload. So ultimately, you're punishing them really for being so great. And so just be aware of that and make sure that even though this person is amazing at managing their workload and you have complete confidence in them, that you aren't just throwing things their way because you know they'll do it. Have really regular talks to just be really honest about this stuff. Like tell them exactly what I've just told you. Say, I am aware that because you're so good at what you do, you are the best and easiest person for me to delegate to. And I want to be completely honest about the fact that if ever you feel like it's too much, I know you're a high performer, please let me know. Like, I'm here for you, here to support you. It won't make you look like you can't achieve things. I'm just aware that because you're so great, you might end up taking on accidentally more of the workload. And I will keep monitoring that from my end. But if ever you pick up on that, please come to me and let's chat about it as well. Or if you want to go through your workload now, let's do that. So that's it. And someone once told me, this was a leadership coach that I had years ago, said that we so often put a lot of energy into negative feedback or like difficult conversations because they're harder to have. And praise feels easier, like it feels more natural. But as a result, we don't put a lot of energy and effort into praise because we find it easier. Like we just go for it. It's easy to pass someone in a corridor or sit in a meeting room and be like, oh, it was really great what you did the other day. It's like, oh, thank you. So easy. We don't prepare for it. But try and put a little bit more energy into preparing for those conversations. So just like we would with a difficult conversation, where we would like list out actions, list out feelings, talk to them about the consequence, do the same with good feedback, like, I want to give you feedback about X. Here's the 3 things I noticed that were really particularly incredible. If you have any other ways of shining spotlights on your great performers that you've done in the past, please put it in the comments, because I'd love to know all of them. Ways that I can do it in my business, ways that we can all do it in management in general, because it's nice that we get to speak about these things, because so often we have to deal with the negative and the difficult, but actually it's just as important that we put time into our brilliant, incredible performers as well. And the last thing I'm going to do is put a link to our leadership level up quiz in the description notes. We have built this quiz out. It's just 18 questions. You just get to go through them and answer them. And at the end, you're going to get a detailed report on exactly where your biggest strengths are in leadership and the areas that you need to improve. It's completely free. Just click the link down below. Bye.